All right, let's get right into it. For what, decades now, the whole conversation around hormone therapy and the menopausal brain has been, well, let's just say it's been a mess. So today, we're going to try to unpack the science and finally bring a little bit of clarity to the whole thing.
And look, if you're feeling completely confused by all of this, you are definitely not alone. The information that's been out there has been so wildly inconsistent, it's basically created this fog of fear and uncertainty that's left millions of women just stranded with no clear answers.
But what if the problem wasn't the therapy itself? What if it was the specific hormones we were using and, the questions we were even asking in the first place? Because brand new research is starting to point us in a totally different direction, and it's moving this whole conversation forward in a really powerful way.
Okay, so let's start with this major shift in thinking. This new era of hormonal health is looking way past just simple symptom relief like hot flashes. It's actually focused on a much, much bigger prize, preserving your brain for the long haul.
Yeah, this is about so much more than night sweats. We are talking about critical cognitive functions, about memory, about that really debilitating brain fog that can just erode a woman's entire quality of life. And this whole conversation, it's been living in the shadow of the Women's Health Initiative trials from, 2 decades ago, which pretty much cemented a deep-seated fear around any kind of conventional hormone therapy.
So to get past that fear, we need better data, right? And that brings us to this absolutely fascinating pilot study that did something pretty revolutionary. It used fMRI scans to literally watch, in real time, how two very distinct hormones affect the brain's hardware.
And what's so cool about this is how it shows these two hormones have completely different jobs. Estradiol, it acts like a specialist, kind of like a gas pedal, boosting activity right in the brain's main language center. But progesterone, it plays a totally different role. It's more like a system architect. It fine-tunes brain activity, and, this is the big one, it lights up the right hippocampus, the brain's memory-making factory during visual tasks. The key here, they are not interchangeable at all.
So the study looked at brain activity, but also at actual performance. And one of the key things they measured was something called verbal working memory. Just think of it like your brain's little temporary notepad. It's what you use to follow directions, do math in your head, or, hold a thought while you're trying to finish a sentence. It's critical.
And here is the punchline. This is the crucial point. While both hormones seem to be doing some good things, only progesterone crossed the line into a measurable, statistically significant win. It was the only hormone that was directly proven to actually improve this critical cognitive skill. That's a huge finding.
So that discovery, that one specific hormone had such a clear positive effect, it leads us right to the next critical point. Not all hormones are created equal. The study used a bioidentical progesterone, and the research is really clear that the type of hormone you use matters a lot, because your brain, it absolutely knows the difference.
I mean, just look at this comparison. Animal studies show that bioidentical progesterone acts like brain fertilizer, actually promoting the growth of new neurons. Now, in stark contrast, synthetic progestins like MPA, well, they've been shown to reduce neurogenesis and can even work against the protective benefits of estrogen. So this isn't just some preference for natural. We're talking about a fundamental biological difference.
And all this deeper science, it really helps explain what's happening out there in the real world. Why are so many women actively looking for alternatives to conventional care? Well, it turns out it's not just about the hormones themselves.
A qualitative study found the key factors that are pushing women away. Now, fear and uncertainty, mostly from those old WHI trials, that was a huge factor for 81%. But look at that top bar. A staggering 95% cited a general distrust of biomedicine and the pharmaceutical industry. They felt dismissed, they felt unheard, and they felt like they were only being offered a quick fix.
So, if distrust is pushing them away, what's pulling them towards something new? Well, it's pretty much the search for the exact opposite. They are being pulled towards treatments that feel safer and actually seem to work for them. They want individualized care, not some one-size-fits-all pill. And as you can see, they're looking for something much more profound, a fundamentally better experience with their doctor.
And this slide, it really captures the heart of it all, doesn't it? It's a rejection of that rushed in-and-out 10-minute appointment where you're just a passive patient. Women are actively seeking out clinicians who will spend 60, even 90 minutes listening, treating them as an active partner in a process of shared decision-making.
This quote from one of the study participants, it just says everything. The search isn't just for a pill, it's for a therapeutic relationship. It's about finding a place to be truly heard by someone who has a vested interest not just in writing a prescription, but in the person themselves.
Okay,
So let's try to bring this all together. With this new understanding of the science and what patients are actually going through, what are the key, practical things you should take away from all of this?
All right, first, for anyone using creams, the experts really stress this point. Treatment failure is very often application failure. For these hormones to work, they have to get into your bloodstream, and that means applying them only to thin skin, spreading them over a really large surface area, like think the size of a dinner plate, and rotating the spot every single day.
Now, it's also really important to understand the regulatory side of this. Compounded hormones, they're custom-made for one person, so they aren't standardized or FDA approved. But, and this is a common misconception, it's not true that all bioidenticals are compounded. You can absolutely get manufactured, FDA-approved bioidentical hormones, like micronized progesterone.
So, as we wrap this up, all of this research really leaves us with a critical question. The science, it's pointing toward more specific brain-supportive hormones. But the patient experience? It's telling us that the desire for better care, for partnership, for trust, for just being truly heard, is every bit as powerful. It really suggests that maybe, just maybe, the relational part of healthcare is the most effective medicine we have.